Hey, been trying to do something like this for a while. I usually just upload random shit. Um, I don't know. This is Dark Souls. This is like my favorite video game series of all time. And believe it or not, I did actually play Demon Souls, as weird as that is. Um, that's what got me into it. I heard about Demon Souls from a friend, and then I looked up like some cheesy IGN review for it, and I was like, okay, this looks good. And I think it was around a time that I got a boxer's fracture, which basically is when you hit something wrong, if you punch something wrong, you break a bone in your hand, which I didn't think would happen. But yeah, funny enough, I played Demon Souls for the first time and beat it with a broken hand. And these games are notorious for their difficulty. Um, I think it's kind of stupid. I don't think these games are necessarily difficult. They're just not uh, pussy baby fart stuff, you know. Um, so yeah, and I think even the guy who makes these games, I'm always gonna get his name mixed up with the guy who makes Dragon Ball Z or something. I forget, but he's even said that they don't necessarily make these games difficult for difficulty's sake, unless you're talking about Dark Souls 2. But they just kind of design the way they design stuff, and it just happens to be difficult because that's just how they design games. So, anyway, this is Dark Souls, not Demon Souls. This is the spiritual successor to Demon Souls. Um, So it's its very own thing. It's very separate from that, but it is essentially the same game, engine-wise, gameplay-wise. Um, it's a little better controls, a little better interface, things like that. But it's its own thing. So for the sake of this, Dark Souls is just Dark Souls. It's got 3 games so far. Um, with 2 kind of spiritual successors slash offshoots with Bloodborne and Sekiro, and now Elden Ring. But this is kind of what started it all, because you know, not a lot of people play Demon Souls. This was their first one into this series, so yeah. Um, what I'm gonna do is I am going to play through the whole game. I'm going to try my best to do the quests of the characters, and I'm gonna try to get like everything 100% it in a timely manner. I don't know how long I want to do these. I'm gonna start with maybe 10-15 minutes, just for like the tutorial and for this little rambling that I'm doing. Um, so yeah, then I'm gonna kind of give my take on the story. I'm gonna try to read item descriptions out loud and kind of do like a lore playthrough of Dark Souls. I know who hasn't done that, but um, the way this game works lore wise, for those who don't know, is this when you start up this game, it's gonna like I'm getting lost. It's gonna basically, you're in a world where stuff has already happened. Whereas usually in games, when you feel like you press the start button and this world has just existed as soon as you started playing the game. Dark Souls is very different, where it's very obvious that this is the world you're in, is on its last leg, and it's not what it used to be, and there's a lot of history and a lot of lore that you have to discover, rather than it just being unfolding in front of you or being told to you straight out. You kind of have to put the pieces together. You know, there is a story that you're doing, you ringing the bells, spoilers, but essentially most of the story has already happened by the time I'm going to be starting the game. So a lot of it is canon, a lot of it is fact that you can get from item descriptions and dialogue from characters, and a lot of it is up for the person's playing interpretation, because not everything is clear cut. No one can really say what is what because nothing is very clear. So I'm going to do my best at just giving the lore as it is and kind of giving my take on it or whatever. So I forget if I press new game, if it's going to play the intro cutscene, or if I make a character first, but let's go. Okay, I make a character. I'm going to do this very quickly. I'm going to name him Jimmy Dean, just like the sausage. Male. You know, why not warrior? Just, it's simple. I'm going to do the old witch's ring, because you can get dialogue from a certain character only using this. We're gonna make him average. He is pretty common. He is balding, and he's a freak. Alright, there we go.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity, heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark.
You know, I said it. Try to stay quiet for this.
Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more.
I don't know why they don't explicitly say that Gwyn's lightning bolts that he used were because this dragon told him that the dragons were weak to lightning.
Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
So I don't know if anyone is familiar with Berserk. It's a really good manga, and this series is very clearly copied a lot
Yes,
from it.
indeed. The dark sign brands the undead.
The dark sign is a lot like how the main character Guts is branded with the dark sign.
And in
I think
this
it's named that
land,
too in there. I forget, but it
the
works differently
undead
though.
are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
Actually, I think they call it the brand of the something in Berserk. But enough about Berserk. We're playing Dark Souls.
This is your fate.
The only normal rat in Dark Souls. It's so weird when they came out with the remastered, they made the soldier armor very dark. I don't remember it being that dark. Hello. So yeah. You know, now you know what I'm talking about. I kind of just showed up here and I've been told that I'm just some random prisoner, some random undead corralled here to the asylum. That's all they give you. That's it. That's all your character is just some random undead who's been waiting to rot away in this cell here. And some guy just dropped something through the roof, so we'll see what's up. Here we go. You know, I'm gonna be a dork about this, but I am gonna see if there's any cool description for the key. Key to the dungeon of the undead asylum to the north. A mysterious knight, without saying a word, shoved a corpse down into the cell, and on its person was this key. Who was this knight, and what was his purpose? There may be no answers, but one must still forge ahead. Yeah, there's gonna be no answers, I'll just say that. I'm just kidding, there'll be some answers. There's a demon. These messages are, I'm pretty sure, just, yeah, tutorials. Strong attack. Yeah, I don't even have really much to defend myself. I just kind of have this broken sword. Oh yeah, and there's ragdoll physics with the dead bodies. It's really fun to play around with. Woo! Alright. Let's go. You know what? You seem pretty chill. I'll leave you alone. They only give like 20 souls anyway. Which, actually, that's a good amount. Is it really? I have no idea. Here are the bonfires. I didn't even need to do that. I don't know why I did. Alright, here we go. I am not... You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna try to fight him. And I'll either die or I won't, and I'll end the video. How about that? So basically the way this works, you see him up there, that other demon right there? He's gonna jump down, and I only have a broken sword. So we'll see how this goes.